Good morning, Jesse here. I got this tree with me this morning. It's a big tree, right? If I want to take down this tree with an axe, it's going to take many small chops. It looks like I could never take down this tree. It seems pretty big, pretty firm, right? Pretty stable, pretty rooted. I want to take this tree down, and if I had an axe, it would take a long time, but I would eventually get it down if I chopped at it little by little each day. If I tried to just swing at it with all my might, I would get tired really quick. I would probably give up. But if every day I went to this tree, let's say I went to this tree for a week and I just hit it a little bit each day for, a few minutes each day, then eventually over time, maybe it would take a month, maybe it would take a week. Let's say I had an axe. Let's say there was an even bigger tree, right? It might seem like I could never take this tree down with a small little handheld axe. But if I kept on chopping at it little by little, eventually I could take down the tree. You see, there's this quote and it says, "Many small chops take down a big tree." And I love that quote, and because there's a lot of wisdom in there, because we can accomplish things through small habits over time. We can accomplish great things through small habits over time. Sometimes we look at something like a big tree. Sometimes we look at something that seems impossible. Sometimes we look at a goal that we want to reach that seems far off in the future, and we look at it and we get overwhelmed by it. Maybe your goal is that you want to get closer to your family, but you see so much tension in your family that you say, it's impossible. I can't change this relationship. This is too big of a change. Maybe you look at other people who are able to quote from the Bible verses left and right. They're just able to pull it out of their heart, and they're talking to you and they're quoting Bible verses, and you've been a Christian and you've thought to yourself, man, I could never do that. I could never have God's word in my heart to that degree. Or maybe you look at people that are prayer warriors, and you look at someone who they pray for a long time, and you can tell that they have a strong prayer life, and you just say, I'm too busy, I could never have a prayer life like that. Maybe you look at someone that has grown a business in a certain way, and you say, I could never grow a business like that. Or you look at someone and there's something that you desire, something that you want, but you look at the situation and you just say, it looks like this massive tree, I could never take it down. Maybe it's a sin in your life, a habit in your life, and you say, I've been stuck in this sin for so long. I've been stuck in this habit for so long. Maybe it's the way you eat. Maybe it's the way you think. Maybe it's anxiety. It looks like a big tree, but I'm telling you the truth. If you chop at that tree a little bit each day, over time, eventually that tree will fall down. You see, there's a verse in Proverbs. Sorry, it's not in Proverbs. In the book of Exodus, God made manna come down from heaven, and he told them only to gather a little bit of manna each day, but not to gather too much manna and try to keep that for the next day, but just to do what they can, to gather little by little each day. And Pastor Steve Rotter shared this verse at Coastal as he preached yesterday, and Paul quotes from Exodus, and he puts that in a passage in the context of Corinthians, and Paul says this, whoever gathered little had much. Whoever gathered little by little had much. But whoever gathered much had nothing left over. Whoever gathered a little bit each day, the Israelites who did a little bit each day to get the manna, it wasn't like they were out there for 10 hours a day gathering manna. No, they gathered a little bit of manna each day. It was a small habit. They were the ones who were full. But those who gathered so much, they had nothing left over. And you see, the principle is that, you know what? If you little by little gather God's word, if you little by little work at something, eventually you'll have much. Because sometimes we think we need to do a lot. We need to make a drastic change. We need to make a radical decision, which is true. And there's times in life to do that. But sometimes that's just not realistic. And a lot of people, they get discouraged when they look at something. They want to accomplish it so fast. They want to just run at it full speed, and they start sprinting and they run out of breath too quickly, and so they don't finish the marathon. But the wisdom of God says you can actually do more through small changes over time than you can through sprinting. There's a time to sprint. I'm not going to lie. There's times to make drastic changes. There's times where God will do a mighty work in your life. But I found that in my life, the consistency and the small habits, the small changes over time yield great results. Maybe that small change for you is that you need to start getting in the Word. So maybe you read the Bible, you read the proverb of the day. You read one chapter of Proverbs a day. Maybe that's a good place to start. Because some of us have been trying to set high goals for ourselves, and we've been failing, and we've been getting discouraged, so then we don't try anything. Some of us think, I can't build my relationship with my family. But you know what you can do? You can send one text a day encouraging a family member. Just one text a day. That'll take you 30 seconds to 1 minute long. And that little habit over time can totally change the trajectory of your family if you do that every single day. You see, some of you say, I want to grow a business, but you see, it's impossible. Maybe you watch one YouTube video a day, one business YouTube video a day on how to grow a business. Maybe it's a 10-minute video. You watch that video every day. You're going to gain so much knowledge about business. You see, sometimes we think we have to make this radical change in our life for something to happen. But the reality is, many small chops. Hey, what's up? I just saw a friend. I just saw my friend Mike. But many small habits, many small chops bring down the big tree. So I just want to encourage you. What's the small change you need to make? I'm not asking you to make this radical, life-changing decision. I'm just saying, what's the small chop that you can make, but something realistic, something that you can consistently do that will make your life better, make your life closer to God? Because that's where change happens. It happens slow and it happens over time. Sometimes it happens fast, but most of the time it's a slow process of consistency. Consistency is more powerful than you can understand, because it has that exponential growth. Okay? Let me give you one more example and I'm going to close. If someone wants to be a millionaire, you know, the best way to become a millionaire is actually to save $100 a month and invest that. And there's something called compound interest. So if you want to get rich quick, that's not going to work. But if you invest that $100 each month, it's going to It's going to exponentially grow through the principle of compound interest. And this works in the investment realm, the investment world. This works in many areas and realms in your life. If you would just consistently do something small, $100 a month, that's like maybe 1 or 2 full days of work. If you took 1 or 2 days of a month, set that aside, you could end up becoming a millionaire if you do that for, like 40 years or something, or 30 years. I don't know the exact amount, but eventually that investment could add up. So you see, if you want to grow to a strong person, if you want to make a big change in your life, it actually starts with making a small change in your life first. So I just want you to think about that today. What's that small change you need to make? God bless.